I woke up that morning with my boss's dick in my hand, and for a split second, I thought I'd finally crossed the line into the affair everyone whispered about. But then I felt the stubble on my jaw, the weight of a Rolex on my wrist, and the goddamn erection that wasn't mine. And I realized the real nightmare had just begun. By noon, I'd hacked his email and found the proof. He'd framed me for stealing client funds 3 years ago, letting me take the fall to climb the ladder. And now, in his skin, I was going to burn his empire to the ground, starting with that smug company photo where they'd cropped me out like I was yesterday's trash. It was one of those crisp San Francisco mornings where the fog clings to the Bay Bridge like a bad hangover. And the tech bros in their Tesla caravans honk their way into the valley like they're conquering the Wild West all over again. I'm Stella Reyes. Or at least I was 28. Latina firecracker with a poli-sci degree from Berkeley that got me exactly nowhere but a cubicle at Apex Innovations, pushing pixels for algorithms that tracked your every click and sold your soul to the highest bidder. Apex was the kind of place where innovation meant squeezing interns until they popped. And leadership was code for white dudes with MBAs from Stanford who golf with venture capitalists. I'd been there 5 years, grinding through 80-hour weeks, fixing code that wasn't mine, and smiling through the microaggressions like, Stella, you must be great at diversity hires. Tell me about that Quinceañera vibe. The betrayal hit deeper than the job, though. It started with Marcus Hale, my boss, 42. Silver fox charm with a jawline that could cut glass and eyes that promised the world if you just spread your legs wide enough. He wasn't just my superior. He was the guy who'd whispered in my ear after too many after-work IPAs at the Thirsty Whale, saying I was his secret weapon, his ride or die. We'd hooked up once, messy and regretful in the supply closet during a deadline crunch. But it evolved into this twisted mentorship where he'd leak me insider tips on promotions, and I'd cover his ass on reports. Or so I thought. 3 years back, Apex lost a fat client, some hedge fund in New York that pulled 80 mil after a data breach. The board was baying for blood, and Marcus, slick as ever, pointed the finger at me. Stella accessed the servers that night. He lied in the investigation, his voice steady as he handed over doctored logs. I remembered the call at 2 a.m. Babe, I need you to log in and run that audit. Trust me, it'll make you indispensable. I'd done it, bleary-eyed and loyal, thinking it was just another favor. Next morning, HR had me in cuffs, not real ones, but the metaphorical kind that stripped my clearance and slapped me with a felony charge for embezzlement. The plea deal was sweet. Probation? No yal. But my career? Torched. I kept my job out of pity, demoted to data entry drone, while Marcus got the VP bump and a corner office with a view of the marina. I swallowed it all. Told myself it was the system, glass ceilings for women like me, brown girls from East Oakland who clawed their way up only to get kicked back down. Buried the secret that gnawed at me. I'd taken the fall for him because in some fucked up way, I loved the bastard. Or at least the version of him that quoted Maya Angelou in board meetings and donated to ACLU galas. The real Marcus? A viper in khakis, siphoning funds to his offshore Cayman accounts while preaching ethical AI. The company photo was the spark that lit the fuse. It was All Hands Friday, the quarterly ritual where we'd cram into the atrium for a group shot, propaganda for the company newsletter, all smiles and forced diversity. I'd shown up early, ironed my blazer, even splurged on a new lipstick from Sephora because why not pretend I belonged? The photographer, some hipster with a man bun and a Canon that cost more than my rent, directed the leaders to the front, Marcus front and center, arms slung around the CTO and the sales VP, all brothers in their bespoke suits. The rest of us, Mid-level grunts like me herded to the back rows. But as the flash popped, I got shuffled aside.
Stella.
Hun, you're not in the frame. Step out. We want the execs prominent. The event planner cooed, like she was doing me a favor. I stood there, invisible, watching them crop me out in real time on the preview screen. Not a leader.
They said.
Not even worth the pixel. I didn't cry. I seethed. Walked out to the parking garage. Lit a Marlboro, bad habit from college, and scrolled LinkedIn on my phone, fantasizing about Glassdoor bombshells that would tank their Glassdoor rating. That's when the app popped up. Uninvited. Like a glitch in the Matrix. Soul swap. Trade lives for a day. What if you were them? Some viral AR game. I'd heard tech bros beta testing neural implants or some shit, promising empathy through simulation. I downloaded it on a whim. Scanned the QR code that looked suspiciously like Apex's logo, and picked Marcus's profile from my contacts. Just to see, I muttered, hitting enter. The screen flashed. Swap initiated. Reality remix in 3.2.1. Blackout. Then, the dick thing. I bolted upright in his king-sized bed in Pacific Heights. Sheets tangled around legs that weren't mine. Hairy. Veined. Ending in Italian loafers I'd kicked off last night. His hand, gripped what felt like a third arm. Warm and insistent. Panic clawed my throat as I stumbled to the ensuite bathroom. All marble and heated floors. And flipped on a light. Staring back, Marcus Hale. 6'2" of wasp privilege. Salt and pepper hair tousled. Blue eyes wide with my terror. What the fuck? I rasped. And his voice boomed out, deep baritone. The one that commanded boardrooms. I touched his face, my face now, feeling the unfamiliar bone structure. The faint scar from a frat hazing gone wrong. Down below. The erection throbbed, mocking me. I puked into the gold-plated sink. Bourbon from his nightcap burning back up. His phone, buzzed on the nightstand. A text from wife. Morning. Handsome. Kids want pancakes. Don't forget the photo proofs. Wife. Kids. The life he'd built on my ruins. I dressed in his closet, Armani's suit that hung like armor, and drove his Audi down the hill. The city unfolding in golden light that felt like a lie. By the time I parked in the Apex garage, the swaps rules had downloaded into my brain like firmware, 24 hours. No one notices the change, the world bends to fit. Undo by midnight. Or it sticks. But why undo? This was my shot. The office hummed with post-photo buzz. Marcus, strode in, nodding at the sycophants who parted like the Red Sea. Morning. Boss, chirped Lena from HR. The one who'd cropped me out. Photo looks killer. Sent the edits to your inbox. I forced his smile. All teeth and charisma. Great work. Lena.
Hey.
About Stella, pull her file. I want her in the next leadership track. Lies. All lies. But it bought time. Settled into his office. The one with the Eames chair and the minibar stocked with single malt. And fired up his laptop. Password, Stella69.
The bastard.
Emails first. Buried in a folder labeled Legacy, the forged logs from 3 years ago. Timestamped with my employee ID. CC'd to the board. With a note, handled the breach quietly. Promoted to cover optics. Then, the transfers, $2.3 million to a shell corp in Belize. Funneled through my audit access. He'd used me as the patsy, the disposable diversity hired to absorb the heat. Rage boiled. Hot and American, the kind that fueled Occupy Wall Street and January 6th alike. Righteous and rotten. I forwarded it all to my personal Gmail, Stella's Gmail, with a ghost script to erase traces. Then, deeper, voicemails from his wife, Evelyn. Tearful pleas about the other woman.
Me? No.
Some intern from last summer. And the kids, 12 and 9. Private school brats with trust funds built on stolen code. By lunch, I was in the server room, badge granting God mode access. Controversial decision number 1. Leak the client database. Not all of it, just enough to spook the hedge funds. Make headlines about Apex's security lapse. Fingers flying over keys that felt too big. Too male. I scripted a backdoor, timing it for 3 p.m.
EST.
As it uploaded to a dark web drop. Guilt flickered, jobs lost. My colleagues 401k.s tanking. But fuck them, they'd laughed at the photo.
2.
This was for every brown girl cropped out. Afternoon blurred into strategy sessions. I chaired the exec meeting. Voice steady as I greenlit a merger with a shady Chinese firm, Marcus's pet project. But I'd salted the deal with red flags. Anonymous tips to the FTC queued in drafts. Bold move. Marcus, the CTO said, clapping his shoulder. Disruptive as hell. Disruptive. That's what they called screwing over the little guy. 5 o'clock. And the swaps timer ticked in my periphery. 19 hours left. I slipped out to the thirsty whale, ordering his usual Glenfiddich neat, and nursed it while scrolling Stella's feed on a burner app. There she was, me, in my body, fumbling through a day of confusion. Text from friends, you okay?
Stell.
Looked spaced in the photo shuffle. A mirror selfie in the ladies' room. Eyes haunted. Mouthing, what the hell? Good. Let her squirm. Night fell heavy. The city lights smearing like accusations. Back at his house, our house, Evelyn greeted me with a kiss that tasted like betrayal. Her perfume cloying as she chattered about PDA drama. The kids, Jasper, the teen with Marcus's jaw and my sudden unease, and Lila, all braids and questions.
Daddy.
Why do you look funny? She asked at dinner, poking my fork hand. I laughed it off, his laugh, booming, and shoveled salmon into a mouth that chewed wrong. Bedtime stories in voices too deep, tucking them in with promises I couldn't keep. Evelyn slid under the covers later, hands roaming, whispering about making another. I faked it, mind on the Cayman Keys, the logs, the photo where I'd been erased. Midnight loomed. In his study,
Laptop glowing.
I hesitated at the undo button. One click, and back to Stella, broke. Betrayed. Invisible.
Or.
Extend? The app pinged, prolong for power. But beware the echo. Echo. What the fuck did that mean? I hit extend, felt a jolt like electricity in veins that weren't mine. The world sharpened, notifications flooding, leak live. Stocks dipping. Bored in panic. Marcus's phone rang, the chairman. What the hell?
Hale?
Fix this. I smiled into the dark. On it.
Sir.
Revolution starts now. But as sleep dragged me under, a whisper in the swap's code, she's waking up. And she knows. Dawn cracked like a verdict. The Golden Gate shrouded in mist that mirrored the fog in my borrowed brain. Marcus. Still, showered off the night. Evelyn's touch lingering like accusation. and suited up for war. The drive to Apex was a gauntlet of radio alerts. Tech giant Apex Innovations hit by cyber breach. Shares plunge 15% pre-market. My doing. Our doing. Stella's body, wherever it was, would feel the ripples, layoffs looming. Her cubicle first on the chopping block. Poetic. Almost. But poetry didn't pay for the therapy I'd need after this. Office was a hornet's nest. Execs clustered in the war room. Ties askew. Coffee breath thick as they barked at IT grunts. I entered like a king, his kingly stride, shoulders squared, and took the head of the table. Gentlemen, ladies, I said, voice gravelly with authority. This is sabotage. Internal.
You'd bet.
We locked down. Audit everyone from janitors up. Eyes on me. Trusting. Lena from HR fidgeted. Stella's got access remnants, should we? No, I snapped.
Too quick.
She's clean. Focus on the C-suite leaks. Controversy brewed, whispers of witch hunts. The kind that got Me Too'd last year. But in Marcus's skin, my words landed like gospel. Deep dive into his files revealed the rot's roots. Encrypted drive, photos of me, Stella, drunk at the office holiday party. His arm around my waist. Caption my MVP. Then, the secret buried deepest. The breach 3 years ago wasn't just funds. It was data, client SSNs, medical records. The kind that fueled identity theft rings. Marcus hadn't just framed me. He'd sold the haul to a Russian outfit for a cool mill, using my login to launder it. The plea deal? His lawyers buried the civil suits, painting me as the lone wolf. I'd confessed to cops in a haze of shock, thinking loyalty would save us both. Idiot. Rage crystallized into plan. Controversial decision to seduce the board. Not literally, though Marcus's charm was a weapon, but with intel. I scheduled one-on-ones. Doling out dirt like candy, CTO's affair with the intern, not me. Sales, Veeps, insider trading. We're a family, I'd say. His smile weaponized. But families have skeletons. By noon, I'd flipped 2 votes against the China merger, citing ethical risks with planted evidence of backroom bribes. The boardroom turned gladiatorial, shouts of traitor at the Veep, who eyed me like I'd grown horns. I had, in a way. Lunch was a solo affair at the food truck row on El Camino. Marcus's Amex footing falafel that tasted like ash. A notification, Stella's phone, mirrored via the app. She'd called in sick. Holed up in my Oakland walk-up, pacing like a caged tiger. Voice memos. This isn't me. His hands. I can't. Panic laced her words, my words. Good. Let her taste the cage I'd lived in. Afternoon. Media blitz. As Marcus, I leaked a whistleblower statement to TechCrunch, anonymous, but sourced to his IP. Apex execs prioritize profits over privacy. Board knew of breaches. Stocks nosedived another 8%. Analysts on CNBC calling it Enron 2.0. Controversy exploded. Twitter ablaze with Apex exposed. Activists chaining themselves to the lobby doors. I watched from his office, feet up on the desk, sipping his Macallan like it was victory. But the echo whispered, she's piecing it. The app's trace. 5 p.m. And Evelyn texted, date night? Kids with sitter. Trap or temptation? I demurred, claiming crisis mode, and instead drove to the Presidio Trails, Marcus's jogging spot, where he'd confessed his demons over protein shakes. Hacked his fitness tracker en route, Logs showed meetups with a fixer. Payoffs timestamped to my fall. The trail wound through eucalyptus groves. Fog muting the city hum. And I sat on a bench, overlooking the bay, plotting the kill shot. Revenge wasn't just leaks, it was personal. Decision 3. The family. Subtle. Poison the well without drowning the innocents. I wired funds from his Cayman slush to a charity I'd shell up, Stella's scholarship for framed innovators. But the board would sniff the trail back to him. Then, an email to Evelyn from a ghost account. He loves you. But the lies. Check the police folder. Let her unravel him from the inside.
Cool?
Hell yes. Controversial as aborting a board vote mid-pitch. But betrayal's a bitch. And she'd married the kingpin. Dusk fell. The swap timer at 12 hours. Back at the house. Kids clamored for homework help, Jasper's AP Calc, Lila's diorama on California missions. I fumbled equations in his baritone. Lila giggling at Daddy's funny voice today. Bedtime. Evelyn poured wine. Rough day. Love, you seem distant. Her hand on my knee. Probing. I pulled away, citing fatigue, and retreated to the study. App update. Echo amplifying.
She feels you.
A video feed glitch, Stella in my body. Smashing a mirror. Shards catching her, my tear-streaked face. Give it back. You bitch, she screamed at the empty room. Chills. Was the swap one way? Or were we both unraveling? Midnight. Extend again? The button glowed.
Tempting.
One more day to topple the throne. But as I clicked, a spike, pain like feedback in my skull. Visions, Marcus's memories bleeding in. His childhood in Greenwich. Daddy's mergers, the first affair. Guilt like acid. The breach night. Dialing me at 2 a.m. Voice cracking. Stell, I fucked up. Help me fix it. Not betrayal, desperation. He'd framed me to protect us both.
Or so he lied to himself.
The echo wasn't tech, it was conscience. Sleep came fitful. Dreams of photos where faces swapped mid-flash. Morning would bring the climax. All hands address. Where I'd torch him publicly. But in the dark, doubt crept. Was I avenging? Or becoming the monster? The third day dawned bloody, metaphorically. Thank God, with CNBC blaring from the kitchen TV as Evelyn flipped eggs. Your company's imploding. Marcus. What did you do? Her eyes, sharp as the spatula.
Pin me.
I mumbled about competitor smears, but the kids caught the vibe. Jasper muttering, Dad's always in deep shit over his cereal. Deep shit. Understatement. Apex's market cap had shed 30% overnight. Protesters chanting outside the gate. Signs reading, data, thieves out. My leaks. My riots. In the rear view, as I peeled out, I glimpsed Stella's, my burner phone buzzing, a text from an unknown. We need to talk. Coffee.
Now. M.
Marcus?
No, me.
In her skin, the app's echo had bridged us. Heart pounding in his barrel chest, I detoured to Phil's on Market, the line snaking like a confession queue. There she was, me huddled in a corner booth, oversized hoodie swallowing my frame, eyes darting like a cornered coyote. Up close, the dissonance hit, my curls limp, my freckles stark against pallor, lips moving in my nervous tick.
Stella?
I whispered, sliding in. His voice too loud, heads turned. You bitch, she hissed, my voice cracking. What the hell is this? I woke up puking in your dive apartment. Rent due.
And now I'm.
Me again? No, you're me. But wrong. Tears welled, smudging yesterday's mascara. I reached his hand clumsy, and she flinched.
App. Soul swap.
24 hours. But I extended. To fix what he did. He, Marcus. Her laugh bitter. You think this is about a photo? I saw the emails. The logs. He didn't just frame you, he sold you out for a promotion. And now you're playing God in his body. The barista called orders. Steam hissed like accusations. I spilled it all. The dick wake up. The Cayman Keys. The family fractures. Her face, my face, cycled shock to fury. Those kids. They're innocent. And Evelyn? She's no villain. Controversy clawed. Was I the hero? Or the homewrecker escalating a corporate grudge to domestic Armageddon? He erased me.
Stell.
Cropped me from his life like that photo. This is payback. She leaned in, breath minty with denial. Payback's a mirror. You're cropping him now. Undo it. We exposed together.
Tempting.
Ethical. But the timer ticked. 20 hours. One more day. Trust me. She bolted, hoodie flapping, leaving me with a latte gone cold. Back at Apex. The war room was a bunker, lawyers circling like sharks. PR spinning, isolated incident. I took the podium for the emergency all-staff Zoom. Face projected on every screen from here to the Tokyo outpost. Team, I boomed, Marcus's gravitas masking my quake. We've been hit hard. But transparency is our North Star. I'm ordering a full audit, starting with executive access logs from the past 5 years. Gasps rippled. The CTO paled. Controversial decision 4. Self-incriminate. The logs would flag Marcus's, my transfers, painting him as the leak's architect. Genius or suicide? The chat exploded. WTF. Boss?
Volte.
Finally. Accountability. Post-call. The board ambushed. Chairman's office. All walnut and whiskey. Hail. This audit's mutiny. You're on thin ice. I met his gaze, steel in borrowed blues. Or it's salvation. We root out the rot. Or the feds do. Bluff held. They adjourned. Fractured. Victory tasted like bile. Afternoon bled into damage control. Pressers where I dodged CNNs. Is Apex the next FTX? With platitudes about lessons learned. But the echo amplified, flashes of Stella's day in my body. Her fumbling a pitch to a vendor. Voice too high. Hands too small. A catcall on Bart. Rage I'd armored against now raw. Empathy. The app promised. Bullshit.
It was torment.
5 o'clock. Evelyn called. The police? Marcus. What? Her voice splintered. The ghost email had landed. She'd found the police folder. Forwarded to her by concerned colleague. Sirens wailed distant, protesters or squad cars. I raced home. Audi fishtailing through traffic. Arriving to blue lights pulsing on the curb. Cops at the door. Jasper wide-eyed in the foyer. Mr.
Hale.
Ma'am found discrepancies in your accounts. Wire fraud suspicions. Evelyn. Makeup streaked. Clutched a printout, the scholarship wire. Trace back. Is it true? The money. The lies. Denials tumbled. His charm autopilot. Babe. It's a hack. We'll fight it. But she saw through the hesitation in my posture, the flicker in his eyes. Kids ushered upstairs. Lila sobbing, Daddy's in trouble. Controversy peaked. Expose the fraud now. Or let it fester. I chose fester. Slipping the cops a donation glitch story that bought time. Evelyn slept on the couch, back turned like a wall. Night descended. City a neon accusation. In the study, app glowing, echo critical. Merge imminent. Merge, visions assaulted, memories fusing, his regrets bleeding into mine. The 2 a.m. call, not manipulation, but breakdown.
Stell.
They're coming for me. The Russians. I panicked. Framed me to shield the family. A coward's calculus. Human. Almost. Pity curdled my hate. Stella texted the burner, saw the news. You're destroying him, us. Meet at the bridge. Undo. Or I will. Midnight. The Golden Gate called. Fog tendrils like fingers. I drove. Wind whipping. Arriving to her silhouette, my silhouette, leaning on the rail. Bay churning below.
Stella.
End it, she demanded. App, open on her phone. This power trip? It's controversial 'cause it's wrong. You're not leader material either, not like this. Truth stung. But the climax brewed. One last play. Not yet. Tomorrow. The all hands. I'll confess, as him. Full exposure. Her eyes search mine, his eyes. And the family? They survive. We both do. Hesitation. Then, a nod. But as we hugged, awkward, bodies alien, the echo surged. Pain lanced, the world tilted. Swap fracturing? Day 4 broke with betrayals aftertaste. The house a tomb of unspoken verdicts. Evelyn gone, note on the counter. Taking the kids to my sister's. Figure your shit out. Her script, looping in my head like a bad codec. The cop's visit had cracked the facade. She'd pieced the fraud with the marital drift. Assuming infidelity over identity theft.
Fair.
In Marcus's life, lies layered like sedimentary rock, Russian payoffs under affairs under boardroom bluffs. I pocketed the note, downed black coffee that scalded his tongue, and hit the road. Apex awaited its executioner. The lot was a siege, media vans. Picketers with megaphones blasting, justice for data victims. I parked in VIP, badge flashing like a shield, and shouldered through. Inside, chaos reigned, servers humming overtime on the audit, my script unearthing skeletons. Whispers trailed, hails cracking. Good. Let them smell blood. The all-hands was noon. Atrium packed. Virtual feeds from satellites. I took the stage. Mike hot. Heart thundering in his ribcage. Cameras rolled. This was the climax. Team, I began. Voice steady as earthquake faults. Apex was built on innovation. But innovation without integrity? It's poison. Slides clicked. Anonymized logs. Redacted transfers. Gasps as the breach timeline unspooled. 3 years back. My login the linchpin. An executive abused trust. Sold data. Framed a loyal employee to cover it. Murmurs swelled to roar. Lena's face ashen. CTO bolting for the exit. I blocked with words. That executive is me.
Marcus Hale.
I confess. Pandemonium. Phones erupted. Feeds cutting to static. Security wrestled leakers. I stood firm, detailing the scheme, the Russians, the mill, the patsy plea. Stella Reyes took the fall. She deserved the corner office, not the cubicle grave. Controversy detonated. Hero or scapegoat? Twitter. X now lit with Hale confesses. Splits between whistleblower win and staged PR stunt. Cops swarmed post-speech. Cuffs glinting. But I raised hands. Amnesty for truth. Audit's yours. They hesitated, protocol or pity, and led me out. A spectacle for the cameras. Interrogation room. Downtown SFPD. Fluorescent buzz. Two-way mirror mocking. Detectives grilled. Why now?
Hale?
Stocks in freefall. Suicide. I spun the yarn. Guilt's epiphany. App unspoken. The photo.
Excluding Stella.
It broke me. Saw my privilege clear. Lies lace truth. They bought enough for bail. Posted via shell account. Outside. Press mobbed. Mr.
Hale.
Redemption or ruin? His smile. Both. Afternoon freed. I ghosted to Oakland. Stella's turf. My old life a diorama of struggle. Her apartment. Peeling paint. Fridge humming despair. Cat litter clumped like regrets. She was there, curled on the futon, my body frail under blankets. You did it, she whispered, eyes red-rimmed. The confession, it's everywhere. I nodded, sinking beside, his bulk dwarfing the couch. Your turn. How's it feel? Bitter laugh. Like wearing someone else's skin. Your skin bills piling. Boss texting, where are you? I called in as you said meltdown. Bought time. We talked, really talked for hours. Fog burning off into brutal honesty. Her in my body. The cat calls amplified. The invisibility doubled. Grocery runs a gauntlet of stairs. My curves weaponized. Me and his, powers high. But the weight, decisions that doomed dreams. Kids' faces haunting. The family, she pressed. Evelyn filed papers this morning. Emergency custody.
Good punch.
Controversial to the core, my revenge had orphaned innocence. Worth it, she asked. For justice?
Yeah.
For them?
No.
App pinged. Merge at 23:59.
Choose. Swap back.
Or fuse. Fuse? Minds meld. Body split? Dread coiled. We drove to the bridge again. Dusk painting the tower's rust. Tourists oblivious. Undo, she urged. Expose clean. But the echo roared. Marcus's voice in my head. Fight it. She's the key. Her? Stella in my body, no.
Wait.
The visions clarified. The app wasn't random. Marcus had coded it. Beta for empathy training, but twisted. A backdoor for escape. He'd initiated the swap that first night. Post-bourbon. Targeting me as the perfect vessel. Loyal. Broken. Believable. Twist uncoiled. I wasn't the avenger.
He was.
Fleeing his crumbling empire. Jumping into my skin to vanish. Leaving me to rot in his scandals. The confession? His script. Uploaded to his cloud. Timed for my epiphany. I'd been puppeteered.
Stella, I gasped.
It's him. In you. Her eyes widened, my eyes, and she clawed at her arm, as if scratching him out. The whispers. I thought it was stress. Panic surged. The merge wasn't fusion, it was overwrite. His consciousness. Overriding us both. We raced to Apex. After hours ghost town. servers humming judgment. In the lab, Marcus's pet project. Neural rigs humming, I jacked in, his admin unlocking the core. Code scrolled, soul swapped exe. Authored M.
Hail.
Escape protocol, vessel swap on trigger, breach exposure. He'd planned the fall. The frame. The app as exit hatch. Me taking blame? Collateral. To discredit pursuit. Deep betrayal reversed. Not victim.
But Mark.
Decision 5. Delete or detonate. His fingers hovered. Stella, him. Watched. Face twitching. End it, she growled. Voice layering mine and his. I detonated. Purge code. Wipe servers. Broadcast the source to WikiLeaks. Alarms wailed. Sprinklers misted like tears. The echo shattered. Pain. Then peace, as the swap recoiled. Reality snapped back like a rubber band to the face. The lab dissolving in static.
I blinkt, Ailas' mine.
Light. Fluttering and felt the futon sag under my weight. Oakland apartment reeking of yesterday's takeout.
Stella. No. Me. Ho.
Curled on the floor amid server debris. Cups bursting in like punctuation. MS. Reyes? What the hails down? Marcus. In his body. Slumped against a console. Eyes glassy. App rig sparking beside him. The merge had failed, his overwrite glitching on the purge, trapping him in limbo. Paramedics swarmed. I played dumb. He called me here. Ranting about the confession.
Then.
This. Headlines next morning framed it gospel. Apex CEO's suicide attempt amid scandal. Framed employee saves the day. I was the hero, reluctant. Rags to riches poster child. Board dissolved the company overnight. Assets auctioned to ethical startups. My plea expunged. Settlement check fat enough for a down payment on Bernal Heights row house. Evelyn got the house. Kids custody. But with his confession tapes leaked, she spun it as redemption arc, landing a TED Talk on corporate grace. Controversial? Hell yes, pundits debated. Was Hale's breakdown genuine? Or Reyes's revenge porn? Forums lit with Stella did it conspiracies. My Insta flooded with DMs from aspiring whistleblowers. But the twist lingered. As Bay Fog. In the quiet nights, app ghosts whispered, fragments of him, echoes in dreams. I'd wake sweating, feeling stubble phantomage, his baritone murmuring you were perfect.
Stell.
My best lie. Had the purge killed him clean, or uploaded his rot into the cloud? One night, scrolling dark web drops. A file pinged, SoulSwap version 2.0. Credited SR. Temptation coded deep, powers addict. American as apple pie laced with arsenic. Ending? Debatable. Happy, I testified to Congress on AI ethics. Keynote at South by Southwest. Traded the cubicle for a consultancy in Oakland, mentoring brown girls with fire in their veins. Dated a barista with tattoos and no baggage. Rebuilt from ash. Tragic. The betrayal scarred permanent. Trust a luxury. Like corner offices. Marcus vegetated in a coma ward. Machines beeping his limbo. Evelyn visiting with forced smiles. I'd snuck in once. Post-trial. His hand limp in mine. You won, I whispered. His eyelids fluttered, echo or illusion. Karma's a circle. Controversial as voting third party in a two-man race. They cropped me from the photo, so I redrew the frame, erased him instead. But in the mirror now, I see us all, the betrayed, the betrayer, the body in between. Leader?
Na.
Survivor. And, in this country of second acts, that's the real revenge. Months later, at a dive bar in the Mission, neon buzzing, salsa thumping, I raised a glass to ghosts. To Stella, unbroken. To Marcus, whatever hell he haunts. The TV flickered. Apex's carcass sold off. My face in the Chirin. Whistleblowers win. A guy at the bar slid over. You her? The one who toppled the king. I smirked. Clinking.
Na.
Just the queen who swapped crowns. Fade to black. But the debate rages. Justice or jihad?
You tell me.